Hi, welcome. I'm Rocky. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing my May wrap up, and it's about 17 books with short stories long, so I might have to make another video for just my June TBR and a little unboxing. I shouldn't have a big book haul for June, so I was just going to do it with my June TBR, and for my TBR I'll also be doing my, I'll pick out my TBR, out of my TBR bag, what book I'll be reading. So to begin with, first book I finished in the month of May was The School for Good and Evil, A World Without Princes. I did do a video about this book and the first one as well, so you can find those on my channel, so I won't go into much detail about it right now. Second book is Blood Trinity by Charlene Kenyon and Diana Love. This is the first in the Bellador series, and this was my TBR pick for the month of May. I enjoyed it quite a lot. I do have the second and third book and hope to continue with it. Third book was Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. I read this with a Goodreads group for the month of May. It was very good. I enjoyed it. I can't wait till the second one. I will say about this, a lot of people are saying it's like Hunger Games meets Pokemon. The animals in this book didn't I can understand where they got Pokemon from, but it didn't really remind me of Pokemon. It just reminded me of animals with powers that normal animals don't have, but yeah. It was very interesting. I did like it. What's the girl's name? Talia, I think is her name. Or Tella. She got on my nerves every once in a while. Just because she seemed kind of not all there all the time, which I understand, teenagers can be that way, and kind of it just seemed to me in the beginning that she should have been more interested in things that were going on than things that she was, her mind was actually on, and I can understand that. When I was a teenager, my mind wasn't on some things that they probably should have been, but that's the only thing that bothered me about that book is her, but, she got better during the middle of the book and the end, and I did like it that, the, guy she ends up with, or ends up liking, they don't get along to begin with, which kind of made it a little bit better, in my opinion, that they didn't like each other from the get-go. This book was a reread. It's Into the Land of the Unicorns by Bruce Coville. It's the first book in the Unicorn Chronicles. This is a reread, like I said. I hadn't read this since, I was 12 or 13 or whatever age I picked it up. Of course, it wasn't as good as when I first read it, because, younger mind, it's a middle grade book. But I did want to reread it, because for the month of June I do plan to continue with the series, maybe even finish it. Next books are Reboot by Emmy Tintera, and also finished Rebel by Emmy Tintera. And this is a duology, so it's completed. Very good. These were very good books. It's about a girl named Ren, and she is dead and comes back to life after 178 minutes. That's what the 178 is highlighted for. And she's the longest person that's been dead and came back. And for these people who are reboots that come back, the longer you're dead, the more emotions you seem to not have. Or, well, you have emotions they just don't show on your face or something. I don't know. But they were very good books. I enjoyed both of them. It was a good ending. Love the characters, love her, and it was just amazing all around. Next one is Memory of Water by Emmy in Toronto. I hope I'm saying that name right. If not, sorry. I got this book from a Harper giveaway, and it's just an advanced reader's copy. I believe it does come out in June sometime. I believe I gave this 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was good. It was a good idea. I did like the side character more than the main character. It was really interesting. Really interesting idea. The idea is that global warming has changed the world, and there's basically no water left. This takes place in China, and basically there's guards, they're given, amount of water for the week or whatever, and she is a tea master, she's learning to be a tea master from her father, and they have this hidden well, and it's about her life with the hidden well, and while this water, this water plague, or, there's no water in the world, and how she has to keep it hidden. It just always seemed like throughout the book that, just always seemed like it was leading up to something, but nothing happened. It's not bad. It was very well written. The language was beautiful. It flowed really well. The plot, it just seemed like it was gearing up to something, and it just fell through. And I'm going to give a spoiler, so if you want to mute while I have my hand up or something, go ahead and do that. Spoiler. She dies in the end, and it made me happy. And I was really happy about it, that she died, because I'm like, seriously, if this book, by the end of it, if she's still alive, I'm gonna kill her myself. But she died, so I'm happy. Which, I don't know if it should be. She just annoyed me sometimes. And, yeah, so there's that. Just like, yeah. And she didn't seem, I understand, she wasn't given all the information and everything that her parents had, that her parents should have taught her, but still, definitely, I don't know, I know she could only work with what she could only work with what she was given, but, I don't know, in my opinion, it just kind of fell flat, but it was still a very good read, and I am glad I had a chance to read this, and like I said, the cover is very beautiful still. I love the cover. Next book I read was Mila 2.0, and Mila 2.0 Renegade by Deborah Dreiza. This is about a girl named Mila, and she's not all that she seems. Both of these books, they start out slow, but like about halfway through the book to the ending, it's a really good read, really fast. But it's like till then, it's just like getting there. But I'm still probably going to continue with them when the next book comes out. There's going to be another one. I don't know how many books is going to be in the series, but I mean, it was very good. Just wasn't my fave. I mean, out of the robot books, and I read this other ebook that was robot, and I read Cinder, and out of all of them, I preferred Cinder for the robot books that I read. The name is, I printed out, it's called Firebound by Shirley Kenny and Diana Love. It's a short story for the Bellador series that I've been reading. It's a short story right after the first book, and it's just basically about her meeting her gargoyle for the first time, and basically she's on an assignment, and the person that she takes down has this little gargoyle, and you meet him in the first book, And he's a cute little character. I love him so far. And I wanted to really know, like, his origins and how they met and everything. So, like I said, it was a longer short story than short stories that I read. It was like 56 pages, but it was still cute. I loved it, and can't wait to read more. Next book I read with a friend. I read with a friend on Goodreads, Caitlin and Felix. And it's The Way of the Shadows by Brent Weeks. Very good. I give this 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I do wish there were more strong female characters in this book. It just seems like in this book that they can only be, basically only women are good for one thing, is being a whore that gets information for assassin, I don't know. There are 2 women characters in this book. One, she's part of the Wet Boys, so I'm guessing she does kill. She also is in charge of the whorehouses, and yeah, you don't see a lot of her like killing people or anything that a wet boy usually does. You see her more delving information from people that she fornicates with. And there's Doll Girl, who is friends with Azoth in the beginning, and she's just like a light character. There's nothing, I don't know, she's not a strong female character in my opinion. There is one female that is like a strong character, but she's kind of bad. She's on the bad side, and she is a wet boy. But you don't see a lot of her, just like one scene, and that's it, when she like is fighting Azoth. But yeah, that's the only, well, there were some other things that I felt the book was lacking, but it was very good. It switches point of view quite a bit from different characters, side characters, which I think kept it more interesting, since you were like, yeah, most of the time you wanted to see from the main point of views, but the side characters really gave it a lot of volume also. I will be reading the second one with my friend Caitlin, and we'll probably also finish the trilogy in July. The next book that I read was Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and there was a short story also in the back called Glitches. And Cinder, like I said, was my favorite robot book, cyborg kind of book that I read this month, and it was really exciting. I loved it. I am so excited. I have the next 2 books, so I'm so excited to read the next ones. And even the short story was kind of cute. It was about how she first came into the household, and how you first meet a Ikkyo, I think is the little robot's name. And the little robot just reminds me so much of like a girl, Wally. And she's just cute, and I hope we see more of her in the future books, but yeah, I do plan to continue. Next one I read was A Mentor's Secret by Andrea Kramer. I really wanted to read this because I said I would in my May TBR, so I wanted to get this and read it since it seemed like a quick read. I could see why some people did not like it. It wasn't all steampunk. It kind of reminded me of historical romance, kind of, when they're in disguises. But I really enjoyed this book. I plan to read the next books when they do come out. It's funny that the 2 brothers fought over her, kind of, and how she's confused with both of them since they look both alike. I don't know. I'm almost as confused as her, being like who she would pick. I think she should stick with Jack. His brother, I don't remember what his name is right now. his brother kind of like seems like he has a scary, mean edge that could come out possibly, but they both seem kind of sweet. Again, in the end of this book, it kind of leaves off a cliffhanger, so I'm kind of excited to see where it goes from there, and what all happens and whatnot. Uh, I do love the pages and how, like, in the beginning of the chapter, it shows, like, cogs in the back and just the font of the book. So there's that. I also read the ebook Mila 2.0 Origins the Fire by Deborah Driza. This is a little short story. And it's before the first book. It's about the memory she has of her dad in a fire that takes place, and it's not a real memory, supposedly. It's a placed memory, and you find that out in the end. But yeah, it was very interesting seeing the memory that she talks about in the first book. I did read this before the first book, so I was a little lost. Probably want to read this after you read the first book, just so you know why she's talking about a fire and her dad. But I still remembered it because I read it right before I read the first one. So, I still understood what was going on and what fire they were talking about that her dad was killed in and whatnot. So it was very interesting. Okay, so I don't know where this cut off, but like I was saying, is such a great book. I can't really go into much about it without spoiling it, so I probably won't, but I am excited for the next trilogy, I believe it's going to be, and it's about the characters that you see in the prologue, and you kind of see them throughout the book, with Emma Carstairs and Julian Blackthorne, and maybe about them, their whole adventure, which I'm very interested to find out because there was like more questions there than answers, and I kind of spoiled myself for the previous trilogy. What's it called? The one with Tessa Gray. She has the trilogy, Fertile Devices trilogy, I believe it is. I kind of ruined myself because she's in the end of this book, and I have not read that trilogy yet. I believe I have all 3 books, and so I am really excited to read those books now because, like, I'm like, wait, what? Now I'm so confused because I haven't read those. So again, I'm left with more questions than answers, although I might have gotten answers if I read them. But I didn't know they interconnected, so now that I know that, like, all of her books interconnect, I'm gonna read those, so I didn't ruin any more or spoil any more for me than that. But this was the last book I read for this month, and I should have my June TBR up soon. Yeah, because I'm definitely gonna make it a separate video from this, because this seems like it was already pretty long. But until then, talk to you guys later. Bye.